everyone. So my name is Felicia and welcome to another episode of NSE Study Break. Today I am here with Corrie Sanders, who is going to be talking to us about her NSE experience. So welcome, Corrie, and thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You're so welcome. Okay, so my first question to you is, what is your home institution and what is the institution that you studied at?
So my home institution was the University of South Carolina in Columbia, and my host institution was the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia.
Okay, so what was your favorite part of exchange at Georgia?
So there's a lot, but I would say, for one, my favorite part, my exchange, I used it as an opportunity to live by myself for the first time. I was at UGA for only the fall semester. So I was able to sign a part-time lease. I didn't have roommates, so I lived by myself for the first time, and I hadn't done that before. And I loved that. I got to bring my dog with me, which was really special with me. So he was my roommate while I was there. But definitely my favorite part was being in Athens, and then also kind of having more independence while doing that for the first time.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So what exactly made you choose Georgia?
So I'm from Georgia originally. I moved to South Carolina right before high school. My parents went to UGA, and I grew up in a town I lived in two different places in Georgia, one kind of close towards Athens and one closer to Atlanta. But I decided for undergrad to stay in South Carolina for scholarships and, in-state tuition. So when I discovered the National Student Exchange and that UGA was a participating school, I was super interested, maybe this would be, my way in for a semester or something. So that was great.
Yeah, that's really cool. You kind of got to go back home and get to experience what Georgia was like. So what classes did you take there?
So I'm a psychology major, but I went on exchange beginning of my senior year, and I had really taken the majority of my major classes at USC. So while I was at UGA, I got to focus on my minor, which is advertising and public relations. So the majority of classes I took at UGA were in their School of Journalism and Mass Communications. It's called the Grady College, which for me was amazing. I actually ended up studying some really cool PR classes, and I had professors who were lawyers, and my experience on exchange was great for me to decide what I was going to do after graduation, which now I'm applying to law school. And I had thought about law school while I was at USC, but I wasn't committed yet for that to be my path after graduation. But the classes at Georgia were great. And after taking those, I was like, yep, I know I want to go to law school. So I definitely have my NSE experience to thank for that.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so interesting. You went in kind of just doing your own thing, and then it kind of solidified your idea of wanting to go to law school.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you talked about a lot of really great and cool things. So I kind of have an opposite question. So what would you say are some challenges you experienced, and how did they help you grow?
Right. So ironically, kind of my favorite parts of exchange, I think, were also my challenges. As much as I loved living by myself for the first time, that was definitely a challenge, just because there's certain things I had never done before that I got to do. And I think it helped me grow just in my independence and in my problem solving skills. And even though I was familiar with Athens, I had never lived there as a student. So UGA was brand new to me. I had been to football games before, but never walked through campus to get to class, and just learning their bus system and learning how to get around. I would get lost, but then I loved it at the same time because I was glad I was there. So just navigating a new town for the most part, but it was fun to do that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know for me, so for the exchange, I went to Puerto Rico, and it was kind of the same thing. I was in a really small town, but I would get lost, going to the laundromat, going to Walmart. And I think just, the idea of being somewhere different can be really overwhelming, even outside of just taking classes at a new place and everything like that. So I completely understand that. But okay, so my last question to you is, why would you recommend the NSE program to other students? And if you have any tips or advice for people, about applying, what would it be?
Right. So I would definitely encourage students to apply. I graduated from USC, but when I was a student at Carolina, I worked as an academic engagement peer leader and student success center. And one of our jobs includes NSE and, doing consultations with NSE students. And I've always definitely, if students are interested, recommend applying. For me, it was great to, I used it as an opportunity, of course, like I said, to live by myself, but then also to explore a future school, which I was going in thinking it would be grad school. Now I know it's law school. So for students interested in going to a graduate school or med school or law school beyond, undergrad, and they want to use this experience to visit that school they think they're interested in, and they want to live there for a semester before, committing to 3 or 4 years, whatever it may be, I think NSC is great. And then, because I'm from the Southeast, and I ended up staying in the Southeast with National Student Exchange, what I think is great about where you chose in Puerto Rico, I mean, it's also an awesome opportunity to definitely get out of your comfort zone, and explore different cultures. So I think NSC allows you to kind of explore more about yourself, as well as, a different place, and it allows for self-discovery. And I definitely would encourage students to look into, where schools are, and there's a ton of schools all over, and encourage students to apply.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to articulate that. I think, especially, what you said about looking at professional programs. I know a lot of people who came to Puerto Rico were interested in going there for graduate school. And as you mentioned, law school, like, that's really interesting to think you can kind of get a preview of what your graduate experience would be like. That's really cool. So do you think you'll apply to UGA for law school, or was that something you were considering when you went?
Yes, I definitely will be applying for law school at UGA. Right now, I take the LSAT in a month, so I'm looking to get into law school hopefully this coming fall. And yes, if I got into UGA law school, that'd be great. I'm actually going to tour their law school next Tuesday, so I'll be back in Athens. So that the exchange had a great impact on, what I want to do. So I would love to be back at UGA. So we'll see if it happens.
That's so exciting. Well, good luck to you on the LSAT, and good luck with everything. So thank you so much for doing this interview, and to everyone watching, I hope you learned a lot from what Corrie had to say, and maybe you want to go to Georgia as well, because it sounds very exciting. And whatever platform you're on, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hopefully you can get the chance to experience NSE as well. So thank you all for watching. Until next time.
Bye, Felicia. Thank you.
You're welcome.